Ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want you to know. You are about to venture into a world of helping other people. And you're going to be a counselor, you're going to be a agent, a representative. And if you are already a mom, a mother, then you will be venturing into something that you are already accustomed to. You're already used to helping the children, doing things that you probably never done before. You're used to nurturing and comforting. And so you will always be very good in the real estate arena. So I don't like to get gender specific, but fathers aren't the same as mothers. Fathers are more of the disciplinaries, where the mothers are more of the nurturing type. And so you will gravitate naturally to the real estate arena if you're already a mother. And as I said before, that this arena is more female agents than it is male. And there is a reason for that. But if you're not a mom and you're gravitating into this, then it's a process of learning how to help others. It won't be a natural for you. You would have to develop it, as the case was with me. Because I was so used to helping myself and not worrying about other people, that it took a transition to learn how to help other people and not such as myself. And so, what you're doing right now, you're the best real estate agent that you're going to be. Because here's what happens: once you pass the state exam and you are now licensed, one of the first things that go through your head is, what do I do now? And you believe that if you do flyers and social media and marketing pieces, that all your clients will come that way. But you'll be disappointed, because the marketing is only to keep your name out there, to set seeds, but it's not really to build your business. We'll talk about it in a second. Your mouth is your business. And each and every time that you have a conversation with someone and you give them just a tidbit of information, how to improve your credit score, how to understand what the lender's looking for, understanding the 28-36 ratio. Each time that you share just a tidbit of knowledge, you gain trust. You gain an upper hand with that individual. And that is where your business is going to come from, ladies and gentlemen, by the conversations that you have. Clearly, people don't always read a text or understand the text as it's written. Clearly, they don't always read an email. And you'll be missing out or missing a piece if you don't understand that using the phone, using a Zoom, using your voice is absolutely crucial, because they don't always read a text properly or an email, and there could be something lost in the translation. So, if you understand that your mouth is your business, and if you understand that all you need to do is educate people and give them free information, little tidbits of information here and there, this will build your business. All of your business will come from this source. It won't be from your flyers or from your marketing or your social media. But again, this is where a lot of real estate agents fail and a lot of businesses fail, because they're relying heavily on their marketing and they forgot that they're the masters. They're the ones that can educate and create, not the flyers. So I want to remind you that you're going to be passing a real estate exam. And once you pass that exam, one of the first things that's going to go through your head is, what do I do now? And you will forget everything that you learned in class, because now you're on a new road and you're trying to navigate this new highway that you're on. All right. So I want to remind you with this class, where you are right now, you're the best real estate agent you're going to be, because I guarantee you, some of you are already trying to teach others what you've learned in this class so far. All right. And since you're already trying to teach others of what you're learning in this class, there is your success. There is what, because people are probably already saying to you, listen, get your license, come see me. I'll be interested in working with you. All right. Come see me. Come, so you are already feeding into them the seed that they're going to work with you. But we forget how to do these things after we pass the exam. And so I don't know why that happens. So I like to have this class with everybody to kind of remind you to stay on this course. And if you can stay on this course, mostly all my clients come from webinars that I do, offering free advice. I haven't even done a webinar this year because I still have too many clients from the webinars that I did last year. I'm still working on them. All right. And so this is what you'll do. But the webinar was not the smorgasbord that got me the clients. It was what I said to them in the webinar, the information I gave them in the webinar, my presentation, my personality. That is what they took stock in. And that's important for you to understand. If they can't hear your voice, they can't see you or hear you, then it all goes for naught. Okay? So I always like to start off there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what I'm going to do is go into the business. I've been doing this for a very long time. And some of these things that I'm about to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, I wish they had that when I was around, but they didn't. One of the first things I want to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, is Google. Has anybody ever heard of Google, ladies and gentlemen? All right, let me ask you this question. How many of you found me through a Google search? How many started looking for a real estate school?
Me.
All right, the Google search. And how many of you read reviews to make a decision?
Me.
See what happens here, ladies and gentlemen? So one of the very first things that I'm going to teach you is how to use Google Ads free of charge, because Google Ads are expensive. You can't afford that. You're a brand new agent. So I'm going to show you how to use Google Ads free of charge. I'm going to show you how to do search engine optimization, where you get your name at the top of the search engine free of charge. All right. Because I pay for all these things. I paid for Google Ads. I paid for search engine optimization. I did it all and it was for naught. I'm going to show you what actually worked for me. And for the most part, it's free or very, very inexpensive. All right. So let's start there, ladies and gentlemen. If you got an existing business or you're about to start a business, because if you're in real estate, you're getting ready to start a business, your name is going to be your business. Does anybody wake up in the middle of the morning or night and say, oh, I'm going to be working with Cherry Nichols today. I'm going to be working with Tyann Ripke today? Not until they know your name. And if they were to Google you right now, Danielle Moore, all right, Lexus Jackson, Tyann Ripke, Ochera Nichols, if you were to Google your name right now, would you be coming up in the search engines? Would anybody see anything about you if they Google you? No? Yes? Maybe so?
Not yet.
Okay.
A
Okay.
little bit, just because I was on the parent teacher associations.
Okay. And so it's through the scraping they could find you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very, very good. So now, again, that would be good if I found Tyann Ripke, but I was looking for her as a real estate agent, not as the, home to school. So, again, that's what we're trying to do here. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, here's one of the first things that I want you to understand for your existing business, the business that you're in, the business that you're going to be in. And let me share my screen with you, ladies and gentlemen. This will be my very first advice to you. I would suggest, or let's move you over here, that you open up a Google My Business page. It used to be Google My Business. They changed the name to Google Business Profile Manager. But if you Google GMB, Google My Business, it will still come up. Why are you transcribing? I didn't ask for you to transcribe. This is artificial intelligence transcribing everything I'm saying here. I didn't ask for that. All right, let's stop that so it doesn't take up all my memory. All right, sorry about that. Caught my phone eavesdropping on me. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, Notice for my Center City location, my Pittsburgh location, my newest location in King of Prussia, I have what's called a Google My Business. Now, I still call it Google My Business because I'm old school. I've been with them for 7 years. And so I still use the old name. Now, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. If you see this right here, you will see these are my ads that I've ran in the past. These are free of charge, and these are Google ads. That means when you were searching for a school, you came across some of these somewhere along the line. Over the years, over time, you can still see that. So you can see all these little ads that I put in there. Now, let me show you how easy it is to do a Google ad. Let me copy this. All right, let's take this off. Let's add an update. This is how easy it is. I'm going to paste that right in there. I am going to select an image to put in there. And let's do this. So school marketing, and let's use this. Boom. All right. Boom. Now the image will come up. I want to make sure that the image fits. So I hit this little link right here just to make sure. Save it. And now click one more button. Call now. And boom. I just did a Google ad. How long did this take me to do, ladies and gentlemen? That'll show up right here. Let me refresh and see if it shows up. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There's my brand new Google ad. How long did this ad take me? Copy and paste, and I'm in. Google is offering this to you free of charge because it's a beta. Google is doing data collection and data scraping. So they're offering this to you free of charge, but they want you to use it because they can't collect the data if you're not using it. So they're offering it to you free of charge. But if you're not utilizing it, then it defeats the purpose of them doing any kind of data collection, data scraping, and so forth. Notice that I'm here at the top of the search engine. Top of the search engine. I didn't pay for that. And notice that when you do a search, you won't get to see this. But because you now have a Google My Business account, you get a dashboard. Instead of getting a website, they give you a dashboard right in the search engine. You can see it, but nobody else can see it. And now you can make all the changes you want to your Google My Business through this search engine. So they incorporated the search engine and a dashboard for you. So you get to see your dashboard for your business, but nobody else does. Okay. And so I can see this is my dashboard, and you get to see the rest of this stuff, the Google search. Now, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. I just talked to you about free Google ads. Now, here's what I want you to understand. See these reviews right here? Because you read my reviews. But here's what you probably don't understand about Google reviews. And I need you to understand from this moment forward so that you understand the magic, ladies and gentlemen. So when I talk about reviews, you see this? You see this little, this is called a badge right here. Let me see if I can find another one here. Hold on one second, because not everybody has it. All right, this is another badge, one of my students. This is what I used to do for my students years ago, back in 21. But let's see, we have another one here. Hold on one second, looking for the other badge. Should be, oh, here we go. Boom. Now, check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's click on to Angelica, and let's learn about this badge. You see this badge right here? Here's what you need to know, ladies and gentlemen. Google is trying to tell you something. They're trying to tell you that they're about to help you if you help them. And if you click this more points here, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see what Google's trying to tell you. Google's trying to tell you that they're going to give you points. You leave a review, that's 10 points. You leave a review over 200 characters, which is like 7 sentences, 6 sentences is not that much. There's another 10 points. If you just do the stars, 1 through 5, there's a point. You do a photo, 3 points for every photo, a video. And here's what you're trying to do, you're trying to get a badge. Your first goal is this 250 points right here. That is your first goal. And how do you get to 250? By leaving reviews, not receiving them, but by leaving them. So now when you go to the post office and ask for a review, you go to Dunkin' Donuts, ask for a review, you go to Rite Aid, ask for a review, and you never do it. Now you understand why you will do it. Danielle Moore's leaving a review, or 3 or 4. Tyann Ripke. Now, here's what'll happen. You get this first badge, ladies and gentlemen, Google will reward you by search engine optimization. Let's take a look at this. So now if we copy Angelica Crespo, all right, let's copy her. Let's open up a search engine. I don't really do Google because I don't like to be followed around by advertisers. So I use another search engine, but it doesn't matter, it still works. So let's do this. Let's do it. And look, these are sponsored paid ads, so go below them. She's at the top of the search engine. And what did Google do? Just like Tyann said, they scraped. They found her LaSalle University portrait. They found her LinkedIn account. I haven't opened up my LinkedIn yet, so you can't see it. But now Google has now rewarded her because she's got a badge by putting her name at the top of the search engine. How much did it cost her to be at the top of the search engine, ladies and gentlemen? And if you're running a real estate business out of your name, which you are, you want your name appearing at the top of the search engine when somebody goes looking for you. And now you are at the top of the search engine free of charge simply because you are leaving Google reviews and giving Google a chance to scrape the data for those who read and see your reviews and so forth. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, she's got this badge. And when you get a badge, Google is going to reward you. Now, I just told you what the rewards for the first badge, top of the search engine. Wait till you see what the rewards are that Google's going to give you when you earn the rest of these badges, which I'm not going to go into now. I just want you to do the first one, achieve your first goal. And that means go to McDonald's, leave a review. Go to Dunkin' Donuts, leave a review. Go to Rite Aid, leave a review. Go to the post office, leave a review. Because your goal is to get this 250 points. And again, you do know how to get the points now. 10 points for a review, 10 points more for 200 characters, 5 points for a photo for each one. Photo tags, that's something else that you can put in the photo so it does your GPS, and something else. Videos and so forth. Answer a few questions that people ask in the review. You get points. So your first job is to get this first badge. With this first badge of you leaving reviews in your name, don't use the stage name. Oh, the trash can man. So I'm Warren Nelson, but all the reviews I left in the stage name, the trash can man. Well, that's guess what? When you search Warren Nelson, you don't find nothing. But if you search the trash can man, he's at the top of the freaking search engine because you were using some stage name. I guess somewhere along the line you thought that was a clever idea, but now that you're running a business, it's not so clever. Now you want your name in those reviews. This way here, your name gets to the top of the search engine free of charge. Once again, this is another benefit of using Google My Business. If you got 3 companies, 4 different businesses, you set up a Google My Business for every one of them, ladies and gentlemen. But here's the situation with Google My Business, ladies and gentlemen. Google My Business is local marketing. So this is my Center City location, for instance. Google My Business will work in a 3-mile circumference because their job is to bring people into your establishment. And if they're further than 3 miles, chances are they're not going to travel to your establishment. So, what Google's going to do is they're going to heavily market within a certain radius of your location. I didn't know this at first. And I was wondering why all my students were coming from Philadelphia, but I couldn't get any students from Pittsburgh. I couldn't get any students from Erie or Harrisburg until I realized that Google is local advertising. And because Google is local, I had to realize that I was going to need a location in the area that Google was searching. So I needed a Pittsburgh location in order to get free Google advertisement in Pittsburgh. And so here is my Pittsburgh location. Now, again, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'll have Erie and Scranton and Harrisburg all locked up before we're done by the end of this month. Most likely, I'll have these all locked up. And now I can get free Google advertisement. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, so here's my location in Pittsburgh. So I'm on 4th Avenue. And as you can see, Google will do a good job of marketing within a circumference here. All right. If I want Erie, Pennsylvania, which I do, so I'll probably have to have an Erie, PA location. All right. But in any event, ladies and gentlemen, Harrisburg, so forth. We'll get to that in a second. But first things first, you need to understand that Google is free, it's local to draw traffic in. And I'm just getting a lot of students from my Philadelphia, my Grand Avenue location, which we changed to Castor Avenue during the pandemic. But I was wondering why all my students were coming from the neighborhood, the local area, and why I wasn't getting students any further. So, first things first, ladies and gentlemen, is Google My Business. Start it, open it up, see where it says add a business right here. Boom. That's all you got to do. Add a single business and then fill in your information. It's that simple. All right. The business name, the business category. All right. It'll tell you if I just put in like real estate, look, it'll give me all of these categories for your business. You're obviously going to be real estate agent. All right. Me, I'm real estate school. All right. But anyway, Google already has a string of categories for you to start with. And then you go on to the next, it'll ask you for your address and so forth. So it should look very, very similar to something like this, ladies and gentlemen, where you will have your address, your telephone number, your business information for your business hours as well. All right. Everything will be set up. And then I can also do my service areas. Hopefully, I can draw in more traffic knowing how to use these, your hours, everything you can do, you can set it up, tags and so forth. So it's really a very streamlined process that Google gives to you free of charge. And as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, top two, that's me. I'm at the top of the search engine. All right. So when you Google for a school near me, a real estate school, I'm going to be one of the top 3 that show up on that list in the Google search. That is the point that I'm trying to make. Why pay for SEO, search engine optimization, when you can get it for free simply by leaving reviews? Now, let me say one more thing about reviews, ladies and gentlemen, because you might not know this because you're not in the world that I live, but you are profiled by your reviews. I don't know if you know this or not. So if you're interviewing for a job, if you're interviewing for a position, maybe security, whatever, guess what that HR is going to do? They're going to profile you by your reviews. They're not going to look at your social media accounts and go back 5 years and see what you said 5 years ago. That's not what they're going to do. They need to know if you're right for this position, and they're going to profile you. through your reviews. Let me give you an example. Tyann has nothing but good reviews. She says the sweetest things about everybody in her reviews. Well, she'll make a great customer service rep. She'll make a good salesperson, maybe a real estate agent. And so profiling Tyann, I could see that she probably would not make a very good investigator. She's just too nice. How did I determine that? Her reviews. But now Ochera, play along with me. I can see Ochera is a little bit more opinionated. The food was not very good at this restaurant. The service was not the best. Certainly could have been better. And now I am profiling Ochera, and I can see that she's a little bit more opinionated, not so nice. She would make a good investigator. She would make a good inspector. And if that was the job she was applying for, she would probably have an edge based on her reviews. See how we are profiling you by your reviews, ladies and gentlemen? And any questions? So you might not be aware of this, but many use. Did you not use the reviews yourself to make an opinion before you came to my class? Did you not profile and set up, got a picture of me and the other students? Did those reviews sound canned or did they sound like they came right from the heart? So this is what you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, and knowing that these reviews are not just for me, because you can see that I have plenty of reviews, ladies and gentlemen. So if I go through all mine, I'm sure it says it here somewhere. What do we got? 72 reviews with this one. If I do my Castor Avenue one, what do I got? I got 108 reviews there. And they're all 5 stars. I'm very, very lucky to have the 5 star ratings with all of my locations. And I'm going to give you a link. And see, that's the other thing about this Google My Business as well, ladies and gentlemen. So write a review. See this? This is your dashboard. This will give you a link. So I will be able to copy a link and I send it to you, and this is what you will see. And then you can do a review. You can do the 5 stars, put something in there, add a photo if you want, and then you can leave a review. So I get a link to give to all my students and my clients so that they can leave a review, right? Because
How do you get that link?
say that again.
How do you get that link?
Well, you'll get this link because you have a Google My Business account. All right. And so when you have a Google My Business account, I can grab this link to leave a review. So if I come up here to reviews where it says read reviews, and then it should say get more reviews. See this? And now this will give me. I got a little bit of an issue here. Oh, you know what? That's because of I'm using not the verified school. Hold on 1 second. I apologize. Let's do this. Close that out. And let's go back here and make sure that we're using one of my verified schools. Okay, let's do this here. Read reviews and now get more reviews. And now this is what'll happen. Okay, very good. So now all I got to do is copy, boom, and then send you an email or a text. And it will have that link. And then when you open it, it'll look very similar to this. Yep. And so again, the other one will show you, you can leave a review, pictures, the 5 stars and so forth. So again, if I do this one here, here's what happens. See this verification required? When you set up a Google My Business, they're going to send a postcard to your location to verify that you truly are at that address. And then when you get the postcard, you will give them back the numbers that's on that postcard. That verifies your address. But when I left my Grant Avenue location and changed it to Castor Avenue, I had to do a video of my new location, which I just didn't get around to doing yet, but I will. But in any event, it's good that I didn't, because now I can show you what this write a review would look like. This is what it looks like on your end when you get it. All right. And then all you have to do is go in there and leave a review. So let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. You now know that you're being profiled, and you leave a review like this. This was the worst school I ever attended. The instructors didn't know what they were doing. I learned absolutely nothing. Don't go to this school. Let me ask you a question, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think as a broker, I'm going to hire you? Did you not just say you learned nothing? Didn't you just say that in your review? And I don't know if it was spiteful or it was an honest opinion, but it didn't speak very highly of yourself, did it? So you were crushing yourself in the same process because you did not know that in the reviews you are profiled by those reviews. And so you got to be real careful about the spitefulness if it could come back to harm you later. So again, as I said, reviews are very, very important in many ways, especially getting you at the top of the search engine. All right. So I'll ask you for a review, ladies and gentlemen, and I will give you my newest school to leave the review, because I got plenty of reviews with all my other schools. So I'm just starting this King of Prussia. This is a brand new one. It's probably 3 weeks old. All right. And so I don't think I have any reviews on this. So I'll be giving all my students the link for this one so I can start building up reviews on this particular. So it doesn't matter which school I give you, the reviews will be the same. Okay,
Warren, I have a question.
go ahead.
So, I mean, I get plenty of correspondence from you via email. Is there a reason why you don't include the link? I'm guessing, like at the end of class, like instead of, I guess instead of somebody having to be on this Zoom and then getting the link at that time.
Okay, so I was
I hope
having a
I'm
little bit of
asking that
problem with your
correctly.
speaker, and so
Uh,
I'm going to have to ask you to repeat the question again. I
what's
apologize.
so that it might be my headphone. Is this better?
I can hear you better now. Yes.
Okay. I was asking, is there a reason why you wouldn't put the link into like I guess like the last email? Like I'm guessing like once people are finished with all of the classes.
What link, Jared, are you
The
referring?
link like to leave a review.
Oh, no, it will be. It'll be in the email that I'm going to send you after this class.
So my question is, so say if someone didn't come to this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were a part of like the last ones, like after they were finished the testing,
Mm-hmm.
would they also get that link or would they, I guess I'm asking like,
No, I understand.
okay,
So
okay.
understand, I'm recording this. This is not part of the
Mhm.
75-hour class. And
Yeah.
then I will download the recording, and then I'm going to send it out to all the students, even the ones
Oh,
that
okay.
didn't come, so that they will have the link to see the class, and they will also have the link for the review.
Oh, okay. So that's why, because this one isn't a part of the 75 hour. Okay.
That's
All
correct.
right.
So this
Okay.
one's
That
being
makes sense.
recorded. You can record. I'm recording, and so I'll download it to Google YouTube and give a link, because I can't send a 4-hour video in an email. So I have to download it to YouTube, get a link, and then send you that link. Just like yesterday's class, I sent you guys the links to the math class from yesterday. So
Yes. Okay.
very good.
Okay.
And
Thank
so
you.
I'll do the same thing today. You're very welcome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, so the big one that you need to understand is Google My Business. But there was another thing that I talked to you about, and that's the virtual office. And I told you, if you ever want to start an LLC, you need a land address, then it's very expensive to be paying 16, 17, $1,800 a month rent just to have a location, just to do Google advertising. And so I need you to understand about virtual offices, ladies and gentlemen. This is not only the thing of the future, but it's been around for a little bit. And so let me give you an example here. Let's do Philadelphia. All right. And it'll give me that. Look at what do we have? We got 15 offices. We got Market Street, $75 a month. 2 Ballard Kinwood, $75 a month. Marlton, New Jersey, $49 a month. All right, Germantown, Plymouth Meeting, Market Street, $80 a month. Let's just click onto this. Market Street, $80 a month. And let's see what we're getting here. First of all, it's a big building. Looks nice there. There's the administration office right there. This is one of my offices there. We have our conference here in this room. We do our classes sometimes here in these rooms. I ain't never been in this building, ladies and gentlemen. I've never stepped foot in this building, but notice that I can use 1700 Market Street, Suite 1005, Philadelphia, PA 19103 as my office, as my location, on my business card, on my flyers, because I am paying for a virtual office. And so this is what you want. You get a recognized business address. You get a telephone number that you can have. There's a live receptionist if you want. These are add-ons. These are not part of the $80, but you can have these additional add-ons if you like from these. I understand. And let's go. So you can actually use, let me show you something, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you Pittsburgh. Remember, I said I needed students from Pittsburgh area, but I needed a Pittsburgh location for Google advertisement. So here it is. You see it in the email that I send you, 4th Avenue. Here's my address, 429 4th Avenue. All right. Suite 300, Pittsburgh, PA. Here's the building, ladies and gentlemen. Let me take you inside. All right, there's our little entrance. There is one of my real estate agents' office. We have our new agents that sit there, new students. This is our small conference room. This is where all the class meets right here. I ain't never stepped foot in this building, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so, but notice how I can use all this to make it appear that I have a Pittsburgh location. And it's all completely legal. Everything is legal because I'm done by the state, ladies and gentlemen. This is notarized. Everything is completely done legally because you cannot use a P.O. box. You cannot use a mailbox. The state won't allow it, and you can't do it for an LLC. That won't work. You need a brick and mortar address. So being able to use virtual addresses of real live buildings, I'll have one in Erie because Erie only has one location for me to work with, Erie, PA, and I want to get traffic from Erie. So this is the only option I have for Erie. I also want to do Scranton. I want to get traffic from Scranton. I only have one choice, and Harrisburg, because I want to tap all 4 corners of Pennsylvania. And so there is nothing in Harrisburg. So I got one location in Erie, one location in Scranton that I can use as my virtual office. And now I can attack the marketing in this area. All right. Now, both of these seem to be a little bit more on the expensive side. So $100 for Scranton, and I think it was what, $107 for Erie. All right, compared to the $70 or whatever I'm paying for Pittsburgh. What am I paying? $55 for Pittsburgh. I pay $55 a month for Pittsburgh. All right. And now I got a legitimate office that I can use for my Google advertisement, my LLC, whatever I want to do. All right. I told you, you want to be in Delaware. All right. When you do your LLC. So you have tax favorable or tax free situations for your LLC. And so here we go. Wilmington, Delaware. We got 4. What do we got? 4 different locations. $49, $99, $95. All right. I would probably jump on the $49 one to start my LLC in Delaware. I don't need to be there, but I do have to have a land address in Delaware to do the LLC. All right. And this will work because, again, what you get is mail forwarding, ladies and gentlemen. All right. They forward all your mail, and I need that Google postcard that they're going to send to this location to verify that I'm at that location. They can scan it, send me an email, mail forwarding my mail to me, and then boom, I can set up my Google My Business with the number that's on that card. All right. And as you can see, this really isn't an add-on. At least it wasn't an add-on when I signed up. Maybe it's an add-on today, but it's included in my subscription, right? All right, so they got a few different features, but this is the big one, the mail forwarding, and so that I can have that address in Pittsburgh and so forth. All right. So Virtual Alliance, ladies and gentlemen, I will send you all these links. You don't have to worry about copying them down. I'm going to send it all to you when we are done our class. So there's your first tidbit of information. Google advertisement, Google search engine optimization through reviews, get your badge, understand how to use virtual office. Let's go to the old-fashioned way of doing business, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say that you want to create a flyer. Well, I'm going to send this site to you, ladies and gentlemen, and take a look at some of the templates. I can keep scrolling for probably another hour, ladies and gentlemen. I still won't reach the bottom of all these templates that are available. And here's how these templates work, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take this one, and you know what? I want it to be in reference to real estate. All right. So you can automatically do, let's say, first time home buyers. Boom. All right. So now all our templates will be revolving around home buyers. So let's do this one. And let's say Ochara wants to do a flyer. You open up this, everything about this, ladies and gentlemen, is copy and paste. So Ochara can move the picture and put her picture in. She can change the buying and the selling. She can put her information in there, change the name. If you don't want to move it, maybe you can just go right on top of it and change the name. All right. Ochara Nichols. See? And then you can move it around so that it expands. You got to play around with it a little bit, right? And there, let's do this. Let's expand it. And let's see if we can move it out. Oh, there we go. And then move it over and see how this is done. This is all you have to do, ladies and gentlemen. The font's too big. We can change the font and so forth. Everything, including the background picture, even the background, everything. All of these flyers that I'm giving you, ladies and gentlemen, all you got to do is click on them and fix them up for your whatever you want to do. If you tell me that you can't come up with an idea for a flyer, well, I got some bad news for you. There's just too much material to work with here. So let's just do real estate. And now, plenty of flyers to work with. But here's the best thing about this site, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say I want to do social media advertisement. Let's say Facebook. I won't even have to finish Facebook ad. Look what's happening over here to the left. I get Facebook ads. I get Instagram ads. Let's say I want to do TikTok. Boom. Now it's going to give me all the ads that match the social media site's requirement for the size and everything that you need to do. So if I want to do Facebook ads for real estate, right? Go back to real estate. Boom. Facebook ads. Boom. All these are already set up at the right size so that I can incorporate them right into my social media. All right. And you'll notice that with the social media sites, this one is not a good example. I want you to see the virtualness of these And so let's go back here and let's go back here, Facebook, and let's go back one more. And there we go. Here's a good example. And so see how we got the ad that moves to motion in motion. And same thing, same thing. The picture will automatically move. You can change your information. You can change the picture in the background if you like. And whatever picture you put in, it'll do a motion in and out to give that effect. So everything that you need to create a flyer, a business card, all right, a social media post is right here, ladies and gentlemen. Business card, boom. And let's do this business card real estate. And boom, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm still in Facebook, so let's do all. And then let's do business card again. And now you will be able to see that we will have business cards here. Let's make sure that we have that here. Let's do real estate business cards, right? Make sure that we get it. All right, very good. And these will be ideas of business cards that we can use here, ladies and gentlemen. We had a better, oh, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just do business cards. All right, and then let's do this. And then we should get a better format on the business cards. Okay, so here we go. So see how we start having a business card format here now. All right, so that's what we're looking for. Anything and anything and everything, any social media, any flyer, anything that you want to create, ladies and gentlemen, this is the website that is going to have so many templates to work with that it's going to blow your mind. You cannot be absent or void of an idea with all these templates available to you. Okay? So, see how we got these business card formats here set up here, right? So now we got our front and our back of our business card if we so desire. So this is going to be in the email that I'm going to send you. But now let's just say, ladies and gentlemen, that Tyann decides she wants to do flyer because direct mail is one of the things I believe in because I'm old school. Long before there was the phone and the social media, I used to rely on newspapers and direct mail. That's how old school I am. And so maybe you want to do direct mail, but and let's just say that Tyann has picked out a flyer that she wants. She changed it all up, did all her information. Now she wants to print it out and get it into the doors. How do we do that, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I want to introduce you to my boy Roger. I've been working with Roger for, I don't know, 20 some odd years. Ladies and gentlemen, you ever go to Staples to get a color copy done? Do you know what it costs to get color copies done, ladies and gentlemen? How would you like to get 1,000 color copies for $75? Yeah, how about that? Need double-sided? Not a problem. You don't, but you could. And so again, ladies and gentlemen, single-sided, single-sided, double-sided. Here's 2,000 flyers. You know how many flyers you need for the whole year, by the way? You have any idea? You need 1,200 flyers for the whole year. For the whole year. Don't understand how to do flyers? Because a lot of people don't. I delivered 5,000 flyers and I didn't get a single phone call. That's because you don't know what you're doing, moron. You're wasting money. You had no idea how to pass out flyers. All you need was 100 flyers a month. You hear me? 100 flyers a month. That's what you need, not 5,000 flyers. That didn't work for you, did it? So if we get, here's 1,000 flyers for $75, add two more to it, make it $90, 1,200 copies, 1,200 flyers for the whole year, $90. For the whole year, you got all the flyers that you need if you do it the way I'm going to teach you how to do it. So far, this is the only investment you've made so far is a $90 investment to have all the flyers that you've already created be printed up by my boy Roger. If you can get it done cheaper and better, you let me know. Give me a breakdown, will you? Because I've been working with Roger for I don't know how many years, ladies and gentlemen, probably going on 20. And he's the best of the best and the cheapest. Okay? Go to Staples and see what it'll cost you for 1,000 flyers, color copies. All right? See what it would cost you in ink for your own printing machine to do 1,000. Okay? So there's no better game in town. But let me ask you this question, ladies and gentlemen. If Tyann is going to make these flyers and she's going after first time buyers, where does she want her flyers to be delivered to? You're in business now, ladies and gentlemen. You're a real estate agent. This is
Apartments.
your money.
Apartments.
Apartments. But how did we get in the apartment? It's a sealed building. It's the landlord doesn't want you in. You're competing with them. They want tenants. You want to take their tenants and make them buyers. You don't have the key to get in. How do you get your flyer into that apartment complex? Because that's where your first time buyers are. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to something I swear I wish they had long time ago. I use it, but I wish they had it long time ago. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the United States Postal Service, ladies and gentlemen, and this is called the Every Door Delivery. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but the Postal Service will deliver your flyer for 22 cents. And remember, we're only passing out 100 flyers each month. So that's $22 a month to have the Postal Service deliver your flyers. What does a stamp cost right now? Does anybody know? Is it like 75 cents maybe for a stamp?
I think it's like $1 now.
Jesus. All right. $1. Could you imagine if you were doing 100 flyers at $1? That would cost you $1,000.
Do you need to put the addresses on the flyers?
Nope, you don't need to. Let me introduce you to Every Door Delivery, ladies and gentlemen. Very important that you know about this. Boom.
How do you get the word out to the people near your business who matter most? Do it with Every Door Direct Mail. It features an online mapping tool for finding potential customers near your business. To use the mapping tool, enter a starting point. Then select nearby postal routes where you want your mail pieces delivered. You can see demographic data based on census reports, like age range and average household size and income, and choose among available routes. When you're finished planning your mailing, you can schedule it for delivery. Each mail piece costs less than the price of a stamp to send. Creating your mailing is easy too. You can do it yourself or find a list of printers or mail service providers on USPS.com. When your mail pieces are ready, bring them to the post office and we'll deliver to every address along the routes you selected. Reach potential customers simply and cost effectively. Every Door Direct Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Ladies and gentlemen, I swear I wish they had this back in my day, but I do use it now because it came about now. So let me show you again how this works. Very important.
Do it with Every Door Direct Mail.
Remember I said Tyann understands that she wants to be in the apartment. She's got 100 flyers, and she's going to have the same flyer because we had 1,200 flyers already made up for the whole year. So it's going to be the same flyer. This is the same thing every month. This is important, very important that you understand this. Says the same thing month after month. There's Tyann's picture. There's the same flyer month after month after month. Very important. So she knows that she wants to be in the apartment complex, and let's just say that she knows the address of one of the apartment complexes she would like to be. It's close to this 2nd and Bridge Street down here on the map. So let's do our starting point.
It features an online mapping tool for finding potential customers near your business.
So let's say that right here by this star is where the apartment complex is that Tyann wants to hit.
To use the mapping tool, enter a starting point.
Boom. So she would enter the address of that apartment complex as the starting point.
Then select nearby postal routes where you...
The green is one mail carrier's route. The blue is another. Each mail carrier has about 225 properties that they deliver to each day. So even though it seems like the blue isn't delivering that much, chances are these are mainly apartment complexes. And so they don't have to walk as much as one postal carrier, but they still have the same amount of mail to deliver. Okay.
Want your mail pieces delivered? You can see demographic data based on census reports.
This is extremely important. Nobody has more data on us, ladies and gentlemen, than the Postal Service. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but anything and everything about you, we can find out through the Postal Service. And so look, this city's drop downs. Now, Tyann's going after first time buyers. Would she be going for people age 55 to 75? Nope. Wrong demographics. Would she be going after 15-year-olds to 20-year-olds? Nah, it's probably, she's going to be right in this sweet spot between 25 and 40. That's what she wants. And she wants to make sure her flyers are only going to that age bracket. And that can happen here. Notice the business here. She doesn't want her flyers going to any of the businesses. So she'll do this drop down and click no businesses. She'll do the drop down and just do the apartment residential. And she wants them between the ages of 20 and 45. First time buyers, most likely. All right.
Like age range and average household size and income, and choose among available routes. When you're finished planning your mailing,
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what day is the best day for your flyer to arrive in somebody's hand? What time is the best time to do a Facebook post? What time is the best time to do a TikTok post? What time is the best time to do an Instagram post? You need to understand these things, ladies and gentlemen. So, what day would you say would be the best day to have your flyer, your mail, the money you're spending? What day would be the best day for somebody to get your mail piece?
Monday.
Monday's
I
terrible.
think Sunday.
Sunday's no good because the day of rest, everybody's getting over their Friday and their Saturday, and we don't usually have mail delivered on Sunday anyway, so might not be a good day. Monday, everybody's grumpy on Monday. People are just usually throwing the mail right in the trash on Monday and Tuesday. You got a good chance of your flyer going right in the trash on a Monday and a Tuesday. Those are not good days. So what we got left? What's a good day?
Bring the kids Sunday. Wednesday, she'll get them all.
Remember, they don't deliver mail on a Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Packages maybe, but not
Wednesday.
Wednesday is close. It is very, very close.
Then I guess Thursday.
Thursday is the day, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday today. I even said this to you in my class. I said, watch your biological clock. On Tuesday, you're okay. You're good in my class. Wednesday, you're lethargic. You're not really there. Thursday, you're kind of to life because it's the end. We got the weekend coming. You got your second wind. And if you're going to have somebody read your flyer and look at your mail piece, Thursday for the biological clock would be the best day for your mail to be coming to them so that it doesn't go automatically into the trash. If it comes on a Friday or a Saturday, it's going to get stockpiled. I'll read it later. I got things to do. I'm going out for the weekend. I'll get to it later. And they usually get to it on Monday and just trash it. But if that came to them on a Wednesday or better yet a Thursday, chances are that would be the day that they would actually have enough time in their world to actually look at your flyer. It's very important that you understand this.
you can schedule it for delivery.
So you can have your flyer delivered on a Thursday. That's important.
Each mail piece costs less than the price of a stamp to send.
22 cents.
Creating your mailing is easy too. You can do it yourself or find a list of printers or mail service providers.
Remember Roger, I told you would put your flyers together for you for $90? Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Roger will also mail them using the every door delivery for you as well. So you won't even have to do anything. You probably won't even get a chance to see your flyer. He'll print them and he'll mail them for you if you so desire using the every door delivery. All right.
On
So is
US
it better to do it in the beginning of the
Sorry, I didn't
in
hear
the
you.
month?
Say that
Is it
again.
better to do it in the beginning of the month, middle, or end of month?
No, anytime. Any Thursday will do. First day, first week, second week, third week. But again, as I said, it's a good calculation. I would probably prefer maybe the second or the third Thursday of the month because we want to make sure that they already paid their bills or they're not worried about having to pay their bills. And so the second Thursday or the third Thursday would probably be better than the first or the last Thursday, providing there's not 5 Thursdays in that month. So yeah, so I would probably say second and third Thursday would probably be better. Okay.
When your mail pieces are ready, bring them to the post office and we'll deliver to every address along the routes you selected. Reach potential customers simply and cost effectively.
So you got the idea here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, here's what you need to understand. You can either take the flyers to the Postal Service again. You're doing 100 flyers a month. It's $22. But your flyers can't be no bigger than a half page. So if your flyer's a full page, then you would have to fold them and take them to the mail postal like this. They can't be no bigger than a giant postcard size or a half page. So if it's a full page flyer, you have to fold it and then you will bundle it because you're only doing 100 flyers. Some bigger ones, they do 10,000 flyers. And so they have to bundle them by 100. 100, then another 100, then another 100, then another 100. But you're only going to be doing one bundle. And again, keep in mind here, ladies and gentlemen, take a look at
Every door
this.
direct mail
Hold on, I
from
know
the
you can't
US
see it. Give me 1 second. Make sure that you can see it in 1 second. Share my screen. I do want you to see this and stop sharing. And let's do this. Share, and then let's do this. And go back here and let's take a look at this.
like age range and average household size and
Look at
income,
this price.
and choose among available routes.
Stop right here.
When you're
And let's just go back here a little bit. All right. And look, they're delivering 1,000 flyers for $200. You're going to be delivering 100 flyers. But in this particular situation, they're using 2 different mail carriers routes. And they're delivering over 1,000 flyers, and it's going to cost them $213 to deliver 1,000. You're not going that much. You're doing 100 flyers a month. Now, let's stop and talk about this for a second. Because you're thinking, if I can do 100 flyers a month, why not do 200 or 300? Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. It's very important that you understand because most people waste so much money in marketing and never get any results because they don't understand this. In the real estate business, we call it farming. In other businesses, we call it farming as well. And remember I said that Tyann's going to have the same flyer month after month after month. And the first 2 or 3 months that she passes out her flyer, she should not expect anything. This would be conventional wisdom. Nothing the first 3 months. The fourth month, maybe a call. The fifth month, 2 or 3. The 6th month, the 7th month, now the ball is rolling. So let me give you an example, ladies and gentlemen, how this works. When you plant a seed in the soil, does that seed turn into a beanstalk the next day? This is what a lot of agents expect. They expect to plant a seed and it's a beanstalk the next day. They expect to do 5,000 flyers and get the phone ringing off the hook. And they got no calls because they didn't understand this premise. So when you place a seed in the soil, you have to water it. It could be 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden you start seeing something breaking through the dirt. All of a sudden you might see a leaf coming up. And then another 2 weeks, it might have 3 or 4 leaves. Then another 2 or 3 weeks, it's starting to come up nice. Then another 3 or 4 weeks, it's growing into a beautiful little bush. And then all of a sudden, it's a nice little big tree. But it didn't start out that way, did it? First couple months, you didn't see anything out of that seed. You didn't even think it was working. You thought, well, maybe it's not taking off at all. All right. But then all of a sudden, it's a beautiful tree. But let me ask you this question, ladies and gentlemen. If you fail to water that plant for a whole month, what do you think is going to happen to that plant?
It'll die.
Could you just add water and bring it back to life? It's dead. Dead is dead. And what you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is you have to deliver the flyers every month for 12 months. If you miss 1 month, the seed that you were planting dies and you got to start all over again. This is what a lot of people don't understand with their marketing. And they think they can do 3,000 flyers this month. 3 months later, they'll do 2,000 flyers. 4 months later, do 1,000 flyers, and they got nothing. Rightfully so. But 100 flyers a month, $22 a month, every month for the next 12 months, that's in your budget. You can do $22 a month and not miss a month for the next 12 months, correct? If you go over your budget and you make it $100, you have 1 month where you can't afford to do the $100. It's all done. You got to start all over again. It's the same thing as not watering that plant for a month. You can't miss a month in the 12-month stage. So 100 flyers a month, $22 a month. Do it every month. You already got your 1,200 flyers printed up. You just got to make it to the post office now, and $22, they'll mail out your flyers every month. But if you miss 1 month, plant dies. You got to start all over again. That's how the marketing works. Now, here's the other thing. Every month they've been getting Ochera's flyer, Danielle's flyer, Sabrina's flyer, Tyann's flyer, Lexus's flyer. Every month they see your picture, and your flyer's been saying the same thing. If your credit is not so good, if you have no money in your checking or savings account, and the only thing you're pulling out of your pocket right now is pocket lint, but you want to buy your first property, come see me and I'll show you how to do it. Month after month after month, same thing. And then now, finally, after 4 months or 5 months, because they've been thinking about you, they can see your picture because they get your flyer every month. It's in their head. They can see your picture. They see the words. If you got bad credit, if you want to buy a house and get out of the renter's rut, it's registered. So you planted the seed. It's there. And now, when they finally call you after 4 or 5 or 6 months, they finally get the courage to do it, and they meet you for the first time, they're starstruck. It's like looking at Oprah Winfrey. You're Tyann? You're Lexus? You're Chara? Hey, how are you? How you doing? Because you've set that seed. They've been seeing your picture. They've been seeing your words. You're in their head before they even come see you, if you understand how to do your marketing correctly. 100 flyers a month, 12 months. Don't miss a month. You'll be very successful. But you want to put out 12,000 flyers in 1 month and get nothing, you could do that as well. It's up to you. So this is the way that you do farming and marketing, but you need to know the same thing with social media. What time for Facebook? 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. for Facebook to be doing your ads, but TikTok's 11 a.m. What time for Instagram? You need to know these things, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to be doing any kind of marketing, what is the best hour? What is the best day for your marketing? Who's your demographics? Why would Tyann be putting her flyers in houses? They already own the houses, don't they? They're not first-time buyers. Why is she wasting money putting flyers in doors that won't even answer her ad anyway? It's very important you understand these things, okay? Otherwise, you'll go broke. And so, again, as I said, don't rely on these to make your business. Your mouth is going to be your business, but I want to teach you old school techniques anyway. All right. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen. So there we are now. So we are getting to these points here where, what time is it? Before I get too far. So, okay, we're doing great on time. Excellent. Very good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence. If you don't know anything about artificial intelligence, you're a little bit backdated. It is new, but it's not. And one of the first things that was really introduced to the public with artificial intelligence was ChatGPT, ladies and gentlemen. And share my screen here and make sure we have it. Okay, very good. ChatGPT, ladies and gentlemen, is something that you're going to use every day. I certainly do. As you can see, these are all my conversations that I have with ChatGPT on some of the things that I'm working on. And this is my last class, and I'm working on another project. I can't wait for it. But let me show you how artificial intelligence works, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do this. Write a review that makes me look like a great student. Make this review make me shine with potential employers, and leave this review for my school called Online Real Estate School. This is called a prompt. And notice what you're asking it to do. You're asking for it to help you write a review, but make you look good in the review. All right? Let's see what it does, ladies and gentlemen. Give it a second, certainly. Here's a polished professional review you can use to make yourself stand out as top student while also giving Online Real Estate School a glowing endorsement. A top tier learning experience that helped me excel. Enrolling in Online Real Estate School was one of the best professional decisions I've ever made. The curriculum is clear, practical, and designed for real world success. From day one, I committed myself fully to the program, consistently attending classes, participating in discussions, and staying ahead of the assignment. See how you're building yourself up in this review? All right. A live instruction and real-time support made the material engaging and easy to retain. Thanks to the school's exceptional teaching and my dedication to mastering the subject, I not only passed with confidence, but left the program well prepared for the licensing exam and the responsibilities of becoming a real estate professional. I approached every challenge with focus and discipline, and I'm proud of the strong academic performance I maintained throughout the course. See what you're doing? Because you know that you're going to be profiled using this later. This school not only helped me earn my real estate education, it helped shape me into the reliable, knowledgeable, and driven professional I am today, and I'm eager to do. Now, let's do this. Let's tone it down and make it more realistic. Boom, there's my new prompt. All right, let's see. Absolutely. Great experience and solid preparation. I recently completed my coursework through Online Real Estate School, and I'm truly glad I chose this program. The instruction was clear, easy to follow, and focused on preparing students not just to pass the exam, but to actually understand how the real estate world works. Throughout the course, I stayed focused, met all the deadlines. I made it a point to actively participate in class discussions. I approached the material with consistency and gave it my full attention. See what you did? You just wrote 2 reviews simply by telling it what you wanted it to say. Let's do this. Write a real estate flyer that tells everyone that I can help them with their real estate needs. All right, something simple like this. Boom. Let's see what happens. Ready to make your move? I'm here to help. Whether you're buying your first home, selling your current property, or investing in real estate, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. As a dedicated real estate professional, I provide expert market knowledge, trusted guidance through every step of the process, clear communication, and honest advice, a commitment to getting you results. Let's take the stress out of real estate and turn your goals into reality. And then you put in your information. See how quick that was, ladies and gentlemen? All right. You just did yourself a nice little social post. You know what? Let's turn this into a text. All right. Let's see what we can do now. All right. Certainly. Hi, if you're thinking about buying or selling or investing in real estate, I'd love to help. I offer guidance, market insight, and full support every step of the way. Let me know what your goals are. I'm here when you are ready to get started. See how easy that was, ladies and gentlemen? So using the templates that I had given you using artificial intelligence, you don't need to really think. All you need to do is tell it what you want it to say about you or what you want it to say. Because what we do when we get ready to leave a review, we get in front of it and we pause and we draw a blank. We don't know what to do or say or how to begin, and we get this mental block. But it's easy to say, well, I wanted to say this and I wanted to say that. I just don't know how to say it. That's where this comes in. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Write a love letter to my wife. Okay, let's get something real simple. Let's see what happens. And of course, here's a heartfelt, my love. There are so many things I wanted to say, but sometimes words fall short when trying to capture what you truly mean to me. Still, I'll try because you deserve to hear it from the very beginning. You get it? Next one, I'm proud of the life. Next one, if I could go back and choose, okay, pretty mushy, right? Pretty good stuff there, right? But it's a good part, good start. But check this out. Turn this into a rap. Boom. All right. So now I didn't take that mushy love letter, and check this out. So it's going to give us verses and chorus and verses and chorus. And so go from the day we definitely caught each other's eyes. No need to wonder, girl. You're the reason why. All right. So I can't do this. I'm just trying to make an effort. But let's do something else. Turn it into a country western song. Boom. This is artificial intelligence, ladies and gentlemen. And anything and everything that you can think of, play with this and look what we got. I still remember the first time, the first look. Look at the story straight out of a favorite book. Okay, you get it. All right, I can't sing, but you get the idea of what this artificial intelligence is doing. It is creating everything for you. So, from your review to your marketing material to whatever you can think of. Me and ChatGPT are coming up with a universal translator because I always thought if my students could hear me in their language, I'm speaking English, but they could hear me in Russian, they could hear me in Spanish, they could hear me in Tagalog or Chinese. So I'm literally working with this artificial intelligence, and I have been for about a year and a half now on a universal translator that I can work with in my classes to incorporate into Zoom. And so we're working together, but this is artificial intelligence. And so I'm starting my next project. As soon as this class is over, I'm starting my online courses. That'll be what I'm going to get ready to do. And guess what? ChatGPT is helping me with everything. So you better understand that you need to incorporate artificial intelligence. See this over here to the left, ladies and gentlemen, because you can see my screen here. This over here is all my artificial intelligence that I work with here. So you can see AI. And this is just the one that you are seeing right now, the one that says real estate. But look at all of these programs, these artificial intelligence programs that I work with that do many, many different things. This one here is basically a Word file for me here. Okay, so incorporate artificial intelligence and understand artificial intelligence can create pictures for you. All right, notice that I was doing some advertisement. Notice this one that I sent you with your transcripts. You saw this one, right? How did I create it? Artificial intelligence helped me create it, ladies and gentlemen, right? So you need to understand that you have to incorporate artificial intelligence. Otherwise, you will kind of be left in the background. If you want to sound smarter, more knowledgeable, then artificial intelligence can give you that edge. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what's my time before we have to take a quick break here? Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want you to understand now. So let's close some of this out. Let's stop sharing my screen so I don't give away too much proprietary information, especially if it's client information. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I take a break, Has anybody ever heard of Fiverr? Never heard of Fiverr, ladies and gentlemen? Jeez, that's been around for a very long time. And it meant $5. And these are all the contractors that I have worked with in the past. This one did my website in the very beginning. Zamir did my logo, that golden ticket. He created this. This here is my not Facebook. What is the other one? Manages that. Not Facebook, but the other one. I can't think of the hell the name of it is.
About LinkedIn.
What is it?
Is it LinkedIn?
Not LinkedIn,
Oh.
but it's Facebook owns it. The hell's the other one? I forget what the hell it is, but that's okay. This here is my producer for when I do my live streaming. This individual here is the one that did your test, ladies and gentlemen. So I have used Fiverr many, many times for many different things to create many different companies. So let's do this, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, this one here did all my social media, set up my TikTok, set up my Instagram, that's the one I was thinking about. Set it up my Facebook, set up all them, and one person did it all, and I was able to get that done right here on Fiverr. So here's what I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say that you need a logo done. Well, now here's all the contractors that do logos, and look at our prices here. All right. $45, $25. There was a time that everybody was $5. That's when it was Fiverr. Everybody was $5 back in the day. All right. So, okay, this one catches my eye. What am I going to get for $20? So for $20, you get to see some of their other work that they did. They created logos. And so, okay, could be interesting. As a matter of fact, I actually use one of these logos for another school that I own called Philadelphia School of Real Estate. And I actually use one of these logos here. I don't think this person did it, but I kind of used one of these logos. But anyway, where did I get it done? Fiverr. Most of the contractors I work with, that's nice. Look at that. That's real nice there. And so you get to see some of the videos and some of the work, but check it out. Most of the contractors I work with, they're from Sri Lanka, they're from Pakistan, they're from Spain, the Philippines. I don't really work with Americans too much on Fiverr. They're overpriced, their work isn't so good. And so understand that you'll probably be working with contractors on the other part of the world. And I enjoy working with those from Pakistan and Sri Lanka, a little bit of India, some from the Philippines, because they do really good work and their prices are reasonable. So for $20, you'll get a JPEG format with a high resolution 3D mock-up for $20. For $35, they will give you a JPEG and a ping. And for $60, they will do 3 mock-ups for you, 3D mock-ups, and you get revisions. So you get logo transparency so that you can have the cards done, the vector format, the printable file, source file, and so forth. Revisions, unlimited. So this for $20, they're doing a logo. I can get them to revise it again and again and again and again, unlimited, until I like that logo for $20. Get it? So Fiverr, ladies and gentlemen, anything that you could think of. You need a business card? No problem. So if the templates I gave you weren't good enough, you want to design something your own. All right, here we go. Taking a look at some of the business cards that this particular one did. All right, I like that one. I'm partial to black and gold. It's kind of a color coordination that I like. And so I really key in on black and gold. There are some other colors that I match together as well, but black and gold always seems to be one of my favorite. All right, so, all right, nothing great there. He had a couple that I like. See this? See how this black and gold grabs my eye? It's very important. But notice that they don't only do business cards, but they also do digital business cards. So for $35, I can get a business card and a digital business card for your phone as well, right here on Fiverr. So if I go down, I can see that he's got a 4.9 rating, 694 contract jobs that he did. and we can see some of his work. For $15, I'll get a delivery in 1 day, unlimited revisions, a double-sided business card. For $35, I can have it done in 2 days. For $50, I can have the business card and the digital card done. Unlimited revisions, can have it all back in 3 days for $50. Create it for me, a business card, my company, my logo, Fiverr, ladies and gentlemen. So just like ChatGPT, have fun with it. Have fun with Fiverr. I'm going to give you all these links and anything that you can think of. Anything that you can think of. Let's say you want to do t-shirts, all right? No problem. Anything that you could think of. Of course, it would help if I put it in there. T-shirts, boom. Anything that you could think of, right? Give me some suggestions. And now you can see different designs of t-shirts. All right. Let's do gospel. All right. Gospel. Something there just came to my mind. What do we got for gospel? All right. And so now we got songwriters for gospel, vocals for gospel. And so, anything that you could think of, throw it in here. Website. All right. Real estate website. This was the very first thing I had created from Fiverr was my website years and years ago. And now, ladies and gentlemen, $150, you can have your own website, $80, your own website. Let me do this real quick and show you. It should pop up. There it is. Okay. This is my website, ladies and gentlemen. I like a clean, crisp website. I don't like a website that's cluttered, that has too much information. I just never did. So my website right here, clean, uncluttered. It takes students right to what I want them to do. But the website's kind of a little outdated, ladies and gentlemen. What we really use today, which is more important than a website, is what we call a landing page, ladies and gentlemen. Landing page. This is what got you pretty much into my class because you asked for more information and you probably saw something like this, a landing page, that gave you a little bit more information. It could take you right into my Shopify account to sign up if you want the landing page. But really what usually happens is you'll click here and what will you do? Because you want more information, you're going to give me your name, email, and telephone number. And didn't you all do it? Didn't you all give me your information and requested more information about the school? You became part of my database. Anytime that you're going to do social media, anytime you do social media, it should have a landing page. There is absolutely no reason to do social media. I don't care about your comments. I don't care about your likes. That ain't putting any money in my pocket. Every time you do a post in any form of social media, should be asking for more information. It should lead to this. You don't need this elaborate. All you need is this: name, telephone number, email address. And if you put your name, telephone number, and email address in here, where does it go, ladies and gentlemen? This is what you should understand. This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a CRM, a contact relationship management file. And notice that all of my potential students are in here. If I click here, 2025, and I click here, I have so far, that can't, really? It's that many? Let me make sure. Hold on one second. I didn't think it was that many. 2025 enrollment options. All right, let's do that. And give it a second here. I thought it was more like 800. 2025 enrollment options. Okay, very good. And okay, there we go. 187. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, I have had 187 potential students, because this is my first class of the year that you guys just did, inquire about this class. My next class is in July. Don't you think I'm going to reach out to these 187 that have already asked about it to see if they're going to be interested in my July class, right? But I've had this for quite a while. If I do 2023, for instance, how many students did I have? 1,309 that didn't sign up, inquired, but never signed up. You don't think I'm going to go after them for my July class, but if we do all of them, you can see that I have 2,868 potential students that have all given me some kind of information and asked for more information about the school, but just haven't pulled the trigger yet. You don't think that's 2,868 potential students is going to be some kind of money for me in upcoming classes? So every time you do a social media post, it should go to a landing page that says, give me your name, email, or telephone number. 2, 3, doesn't matter. Notice that some gave me name, telephone number, and email, and others just gave me name or telephone, and some didn't even do that. Take this one, for instance, ladies and gentlemen. I saved this one for the class because I had a new inquiry about the school. So this person right here called, and I was in class, couldn't take the call. So check this out. They wanted to know more information, all right? And this is called an autoresponder. Hi, Guyana, this is Online Real Estate School. Hope you're doing great today. But that's all, little autoresponder. Now, check this out. I'm going to reply. And the way that I'm going to reply is by something that I already have set up. I just did that, and I just sent this person a text. How long did it take me? Did you blink and miss me sending this text? And look what the text says. Hello, Quiana. Once again, thank you for your interest in attending real estate class. My next class starts July 1st. The course is $598. You get your 3 options. We want to try to make it easy and affordable. This is I set it up so that I can automatically respond to all those who inquire about more information. Ladies and gentlemen, if I want, ladies and gentlemen, I can take all of these. You see these 2,868? And I can send out an email to all of them in one shot. I can send out a text to all 2,858 of them in one shot. That is what a contact relationship management file will do for you, ladies and gentlemen. Instead of doing email after email after email, text after text after text, this contact relationship management file is your personal assistant. So what you need to understand for your business, ladies and gentlemen, is a landing page. You don't really need a website, a landing page that should lead them to a decision. Either buy now, go right to my Shopify, or ask for more information. And then it goes automatically right into my CRM. And then I can respond to them through my CRM. Click, click, click. Done. Does everybody understand this? It's very important that you do, ladies and gentlemen, because you should not be buying leads. Don't be buying email addresses and telephone numbers. They don't work on the FTC rules, and they don't work. And notice what this said, ladies and gentlemen. This is FTC requirement. Notice that this said reply stop to unsubscribe. This has got to be in the first text that you send everybody. So it's in my autoresponder. And if they do that, ladies and gentlemen, as you will see here, if they respond stop, like I got right here, see how this individual put stop? That's it, ladies and gentlemen. No more text, no more emails, no more nothing. We talked about this in class, didn't we? And so under FTC rulings, why would you buy email addresses when you'll probably just get stop, 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 stop anyway, because they didn't ask you to send them anything. But when they go to your landing page and they ask you for information, now you're building up your database. And as you can see, I got almost 3,000 potential students in this. You're going to do this for your real estate business. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a big jump for you to get started in your real estate business. When we come back from our break, ladies and gentlemen, because we're almost done, so we'll have just a little bit of time after our break, I'm going to give you some more things for your business because there's probably a ton of social media that you never even knew existed that I'm going to share with you when we come back from the break and give you a few more things that you're going to need to raise money. And we'll do a quick broker interview because I'm going to send you my independent contractors agreement after this class is over as well. So got some more goodies to come. So any questions or comments about the things that I've shared with you so far, ladies and gentlemen?
So you said you needed a landing page. Don't you need a website for the landing page to be on?
No, no. And so you can use artificial intelligence to create a landing page. Because again, as I said, my landing page that I had did not go to my website. Let me again share my screen with you because my website was one thing and my landing page was another. So here is my website. Okay. And I hardly even use the website. It really doesn't serve a whole lot of purpose. It's basically just to give you more information. But the landing page that I use is better than a website because it's really just one page, a landing page, gives you the same information that my website would have gave you. And notice what my landing page does that my website's not even doing. It'll allow you to enroll now. You can click onto that and go right to my Shopify account and buy the class. Go right into the class. So, and we'll talk about why my website's not set up that way, why I don't take credit cards on my website. No, 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 no. We'll talk about that when we're done. But a landing page is one thing, a website's another thing. And the website's basically for information. The landing page is getting them to do one thing: name, telephone number, email address. I told you about that 1,000 times. The most important asset that you can ever have is those three things: name, telephone number, email address. And every time that you use them, this is all you need, just this box. You don't need this. You don't need this big landing page. You only need this. Register for more information, get more information. And so that when you go to your social media and you say, I'd like to get more information, Tyann has a little link. And when I click onto that link in her social media, it takes me to this. It says, for more information, leave your name, email, telephone number. And then Tyann will send me more information. But she gathered my information to put into her database because I already said I was interested in something. I was interested in buying. I was interested in selling. I was interested in more information about real estate. Tyann now knows this about me, and I knew this about you, which is one of the reasons that you're in my class right now, is because did I not speak with you, ladies and gentlemen? Did I not have a phone conversation with each and every one of you? Do you think you would have made a decision to come into my class without the conversation we had? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Your mouth is your business. And it was my encouragement, it was my voice, it was what you heard me say that made you make the decision. Without that, you would still probably be fishing around wondering what school you want to go to. See how this works? All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's enjoy our break. I'll see everybody at 8:30.
Hey, I was gonna say,
Go ahead, Danielle.
my husband just was telling me. I asked him if he knew about Fiverr, and he said he did, but he just got a letter from the CEO of Fiverr that said that it's kind of going out. He told
Nothing
his
lasts
employees
forever.
that they're going out.
Yeah, nothing lasts forever. And it's like I said, it's been around for a while. I started my company many, many years ago on Fiverr, and there will be other copycats of it. And Fiverr used to be everybody was $5. Now they're a little bit more expensive, but it will last as long as there's the demand. Just like this. The only reason that we accept this is because we do. We will accept it. And as long as we will exchange it, it will survive. And that's how Fiverr will do. It'll survive to as long as nobody wants to use it anymore. then
Yeah,
it'll
he said AI is replacing a lot of stuff. That's why.
AI is replacing, but you can see that these contractors on Fiverr are using AI. They're incorporated, just like I'm teaching you to incorporate AI into your business. You're going to have to incorporate AI, but I
Yeah.
think AI is getting to the point where it's all Autobots. There is no human interaction, and AI doesn't do it all. AI does streamline the process, but I had a problem with my website and my email yesterday. As I said to everybody, you'd think I was able to get a human being on a freaking phone to talk to somebody? So, too much artificial intelligence, too much bots is not good either. So, everything has its value, but it won't last forever. All right. Will AI take over? Well, maybe. Maybe. Who knows what the future holds? Will be man against machine one day? Probably. Maybe. Everything wants to survive. All right. So we'll see who the winner is. I said that this civilization would come to the end because of AI and propaganda. I've already predicted how this civilization will end, and every civilization does end. It does. It's just the way it is. All right. So we'll see how it works out. But yeah, Fiverr will survive as long as it does. AI will survive as long as it does. Same thing with us. It'll survive as long as it does. One day it won't be around no more. Enjoy your break, ladies and gentlemen. I'll see everybody at 8:30. Stick around for any questions or comments.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, won't keep you much longer. We're almost finished. And you guys will be on your way to starting your new lives. And so, as I said, I'm working on that second project as we are talking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, everybody can hear me?
Yes.
Excellent. Very, very good. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's open this up here. Now, the last thing that we kind of talked about was Fiverr. And we talked about how Fiverr's, nothing lasts forever. Here today, gone tomorrow. So it's still here. Utilize it why it is still here. And here's one thing that I will say on a personal note, ladies and gentlemen. I will always take on loans, but I will never, ever take on investors ever again. Never again will I make that mistake. So I will take on loans, but I won't take on investors. And a lot of good companies have come to an end because of the investors. And so, will Fiverr end? Well, if it's not making any more money, yeah, it'll come to an end. That's how it works. So, now, ladies and gentlemen,
What do you mean by you won't take on it, investors?
no, because investors try to do hostile takeover. They try to they put a lot of pressure on you to get a return on their investment. They divert my attention from the business to their return, and it's not a good combination. And so it's actually a recipe for disaster. And so I made one mistake one time of taking on investors, and I didn't ask for the damn investors. They threw their money at me. I didn't even ask them. And so I figured they're throwing their money at me. Why not? I'll take it. But even though I had everything done legally and all the paperwork, it was still just a pain in the butt listening to them cry because they thought they would make more and more. It's a school. I can't get people to, invest in themselves. I do the best I can, but it's, it is what it is. I wish I could have 100 students in every class. It just doesn't work that way. So you do what you can do, but investors still cry about it. And so I don't need that anymore. Never will I take that aggravation on again. So I'll take on a loan. All right. But I'll never take on investors again. So, but as I said, that was a personal note. I'm not telling you not to do it because I'm actually going to show you that you might want to do it. Okay. So it's a personal note for me, but I'm going to share with you maybe money that you could use through investors. So to each their own, ladies and gentlemen. But let's go back to social media, ladies and gentlemen, and understand that you have to have a business page with your social media. You cannot use your personal page for social media. It's a violation of most of the social media's rules and regulations of their platform. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, they all want you to have a business page and not advertise on your personal page. So I'm going to send this to you that explains how, if you want to set up your business pages, how you can do it. I, of course, had somebody from Fiverr set up all my social sites for me. All right. And I found that to be very convenient. But what I didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, is there is a lot of social media out there. For instance, YouTube has a competition called Rumble, ladies and gentlemen. And here's one thing that you're going to need to know before I go any further. All all social media, all news outlets, all of them, ladies and gentlemen, are designed for the left or the right, Democrat or Republican. There's no escaping it. One media outlet will be wanting you to think and go this direction. Another media outlet will make you think and go this direction. That's the game. So Rumble would be more of the conservative Republican side, where YouTube would be more of the Democrat liberal side. You need to understand this. I don't care. It's green to me. I don't care about the Democrat or the Republican side. I don't care about that. But I do understand that there's two sides to a coin. There's two sides to every social media. So Rumble is competition to YouTube. But there are others. Did you know about Nextdoor, ladies and gentlemen? Nextdoor is one of those websites that social media sites that you should know about in the real estate arena. And if you didn't know about it, I can't get this thing out of my way here, but this is called Nextdoor, ladies and gentlemen. This is a social media site that you probably wasn't aware of. I'll be sending it all to you in the links that I give you. But you might be familiar with Facebook. All right. This is one of my business pages because you can't be advertising on a personal page. Twitter, you might be familiar with. LinkedIn, you're familiar with. YouTube, you're familiar with, ladies and gentlemen. TikTok, you're familiar with, I'm sure. But what about Pinterest? I love Pinterest, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Pinterest is not just a social media site, but it's a search engine as well, like Google. And Pinterest is generated more towards the female audience. But I love Pinterest. I love going on Pinterest and seeing things, expanding my horizon. And one of my Fiverr executives works and just manages just my Pinterest for me. So they design all of these, and I forget what the hell these are called. They're not post. They have another name for these things. I forget what they're called, but I don't do it. All this marketing, all this advertising you see, I don't do it. I had somebody from Fiverr do all this for me. And I forget what these are called, but anyway, Pinterest is a very interesting site that you should go to. How about Truth Social? All right. This is definitely on the conservative side. All right. I think Trump has ownership or part ownership in this, but this is competing with Facebook, uh, Instagram. Instagram was a notorious liberal site, but now Elon Musk isn't so well loved in the liberal circle. So is Instagram conservative now? I don't know. But what about things like MeWe? Maybe you never heard of MeWe. And I just have to update here. Let's see if I can get this here. Next generation me, we. Let's go that. There we go. So maybe you never heard of this social media site. Parlor is no longer in business. They're out of business. I think they're back in. I'm not sure. But anyway, what about Getter, ladies and gentlemen? Have you ever heard of this social media site, Getter? All right. How about that? How about Gab? Ever hear of Gab, ladies and gentlemen? Social media? And Gab is a very interesting one because Parler was running on Amazon and Google's servers. And when Amazon and Google decided to put Parler out of business, all they did was take them off their servers, and that was it. They were off. No more internet. Done. Gab has designed their own servers, spend a lot of money so that Amazon and Google can't take them offline like they did with Parler. And so, very interesting site. But what you do need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that there are other social media sites besides Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. And money is money. You want to be making sure that you're advertising to as much as you can. I'm not exactly sure what this is. I don't know if this is a dating thing. I've never used Snapchat, but I show you as another social media site. But notice it says why Snapchat ads, so you're going to be doing ads if you so desire on some of these social media. I've never done Snapchat. I don't have an account with them, but I demonstrated in my class anyway, and hopefully it's not something bad. But yeah, well, what are you going to do? Live and learn. So social media, ladies and gentlemen, is something that you're going to use because it's free for the most part. Ads are not free, but you can do a lot of things that are free, and it's something interesting. I told you we talked about the different generation, the baby boomer generation, the Generation X, Generation Y. And I usually put that in my social sites for educational purposes. But we're going to deal with all of this anyway. So, ladies and gentlemen, social media. All right. Now, when I do my YouTube channels, this is one of my old live streaming videos. How did I do live streaming, ladies and gentlemen? So, how did I come on and do all these free classes? Terrible, terrible. I was sick back in the day. But in any event, this is when I used to do free classes, and I would do live streaming classes free of charge. How did I do that? With a site called Restream, ladies and gentlemen. Restream will allow you to live stream to all these channels at one time, or you can set up your own channels like me, Facebook, uh, YouTube, uh, Instagram, uh, X, which was what, Twitter back in the day. And I haven't used it in a while, but all I need to do is just simply reconnect. And then I can now live stream on all these platforms at the same time. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, check this out. So if I do this right now and hit this live stream, what you will see is I am now going live right now. I'm literally on my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok right now, live on all these sites. But I don't want to be live right now. So stop that right now and go back. But Restream is a platform that you can use, and then you can do live streaming on your website, on your social media sites and so forth. You can set them all up so that at this moment I can use this application and I can literally be live streaming on all those sites at the same time. And so I used to use this to do my free classes to get students to sign up. but you would want to probably incorporate this for your business if you're going to be doing webinars and first-time buyers and giving free information. You might want to incorporate it. In the real estate arena, you might want to be doing auctions, start learning how to work with auctions, ladies and gentlemen. And so I want to show you the sheriff in Philadelphia, Sheriff Bilal. Let me introduce you to our sheriff.
I'm Rochelle Bilal, the sheriff of the city and county of Philadelphia. One of the key initiatives of my administration has been community outreach and revamping outdated processes. The COVID-19 pandemic has created additional challenges for the community and the sheriff's office. Our office has implemented programs to help residents stay in their homes. Sheriff sales have not been held for months because we are committed to keeping our residents safe. As part of that, we've had partnered with online auction site Bid for Assets to bring virtual sales to all bidders from the safety of your own home. Registration is free, and you can bid using a laptop, smartphone, or desktop. And if you don't have access to internet, Bid for Assets will provide you a paper bid packet. Of Philadelphia. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here's how this works. So right here we have our mortgage foreclosures and we have our tax sale. Let's go to mortgage foreclosures. And if you've ever been on eBay, you can see that this is set up very similar to the way eBay is set up. All right, so let's just take North 54th Street, for instance. Notice that you can still see it. Notice our current bid is 22,500. There are 19 days left. If you log in, you can see the bidders and what they bid. Notice that we have a reserve. A reserve means that we have to have a minimum bid before we release it, and that has not been met yet. And we will see other things. Notice your deposit, $5,000. This is what it says. In order to bid on any property on the sheriff's sale, you have to have a $5,000 deposit, ready, willing, and able buyer. So you have to have that. You can use this link to use your $5, your $5,000. It's a $35 non-refundable processing fee. So you need $5,035 to get started, to make any bids, to make sure that you are a ready, willing, and able buyer. Notice that it gives us some more information about this property. We know who the attorney is. We know that there's $82,000 debt owed on it. So that means this 22.5 ain't going to work. We now pretty much know what the reserve could be close to because there's 82,000 owed on this property. So that gives us some more information. We know that it's a mortgage foreclosure. All right. And we have the sheriff's information and the legal information about this and so forth. So if you want to bid on foreclosure property, this is one thing. But maybe, as we talked about, tax sale. Remember, in a tax sale, you're not buying the property, you're bidding on the tax debt. And now check this out. Let's do Whitaker. Stayed. Stayed means it's off the block. They worked something out. It'll go to the following month or it's done. And so let's do this one here. Stayed. See, so in tax sales, ladies and gentlemen, postponed, stayed, postponed. It's very difficult to be bidding on tax sale properties, but let me show you something just in case. So here we got one that is currently available. $4,900 is the current bid, but notice the difference here. To bid on tax sale properties, you need $500, not $5,000. For the foreclosure, you need a $5,000 bid to bid, $5,000 in escrow to bid. But for tax sales, 500. Remember, tax sales have a redemption period, 1 year. Person has the right to redeem back what you paid at the auction. The foreclosure sale, there is no redemption period. You're the winning bidder, you get the property, but not in a tax sale. In a tax sale, there is that statutory right of redemption, and so it'll be a year after you bid on the property. But what do they owe? Notice that in the other one, it said $80,000. We knew what was on the mortgage, but we don't know what is owed in the taxes. So what I would do with this particular property, because it's not one, but it's two properties, let's go into the tax records with the city of Philadelphia and see if they are going to provide me any more information before I bid on this property. So let's do this. And let's do this. You can still see. I don't think it's going to give me both. Oh, it did. Okay, very good. 7137, 731. Now I want to go and take a look at the taxes. Well, how far behind are we on the taxes? $399 for taxes. Look, we're $11,226 in the rear of property tax. So that means we now know that since we're 11,000 behind in the taxes, we got a pretty good idea of what our reserves probably going to be on this one by using another site that I'll give you in the email that I'm going to send you. But I can see that they didn't give me any information about how far we were behind in the taxes. So it would be kind of a blind bid, but I have eyes. I can see what the rearage is on the tax. So that gives me a better understanding of what my top bid's going to be. Do you think I'm going to be bidding 12, 13, 15, 20, $25,000? Uh-uh. I'm bidding on this, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm bidding on. I am not bidding on this. Not in the tax sale. That's what you need to understand. Okay?
So it said there was no reserve. So say you got this, say um your bid is $5,000. You get it for $5,000 then, or
if that's the reserve, if it's past the reserve and it here says no reserve, so that means yeah. So if I'm $5,000, I'm the bid, then guess what? The city gets my 5,000. They do not get the 11,000. Will they go after the homeowner for a deficiency judgment? I don't know if they have that power to do so. I know the lender does, but I don't know if the city does. But in this situation, the city's not getting any money from this person, that's for sure. So $5,000 is better than nothing in this situation. So, but notice that I know how far we're behind on the taxes because this site did not give that information to me. I had to find out by another way, but I don't go into anything blind. Now, is there any other liens or judgments against this property that I'm going to be bidding on? Is it even a property or is it a lot? All right. So if I go back to this site here, ladies and gentlemen, I can literally maybe pull up a picture and see if I'm looking at a lot. Look, see, probably looking at a lot here. It's a lot of tax money for a lot, but I'm just still not comfortable if this is a lot or not. And so I'll do one more site that you don't have access to. I won't be giving you this site because you need a real estate license and you have to have access to Bright, the MLS, to pull up this site. But this site is going to help me open my eyes to see what we're looking at with this property. And so I'm going to do a search here and put the address in here and notice that it's not going to give it to me that way. I'll have to probably just use one address at a time. And there we go. Now it's giving it to me. Now this is going to give me my best rendition of what I'm really looking at. I'm looking at a lot. Am I going to be bidding on a lot? I don't think so. No. But again, as we can see, this gives me a lot of information. It tells me what the property value is. It will tell me, it's already telling me the notice of foreclosure. All right. It's telling me that it's a land. It's telling me who owned the property. I can even pull up the deed in this as well. Check the deed. I can pull up the deed. I won't do that right now. And I might even be able to get contact information. Once in a while, it will. Look at this. I got contact information on the name, but nothing else is available. But I do have a name of the owner as well. So this site will give me a lot of information that most people would not have access to. But you only get this site if you are a member of the MLS. So I won't be sharing this with you because you can't use it until you get a real estate license. But notice that I have access to other things, but you would have access to this. You would be able to use the BRT or Atlas and get some information. But I was able to confirm my information. Notice I have the same thing here, public information, Tim McDonald. Uh, let me see, license and inspection. Let me see if we have any violations against this property. All right, it's a lot. I'm not really interested in it, but nope, everything's good. No violations, no appeals, no nothing again. So, but again, notice that we did not know that this was a lot from this auction site. I had to do some more due diligence to find out what the taxes were owed on it and that it was a lot. I still don't think that this is two addresses. It appears to be just one address. I don't know why it's 731, 7137, and 39. I don't think we could fit two of these houses on this lot. So a little bewildered about that as well. But anyway, that's the fun of real estate, ladies and gentlemen, where you get to do all this little work to try to determine what the heck is going on. So this is part of this mentor class that you will have this site, ladies and gentlemen, bid for assets, because there's other things that you can do as well with this site, ladies and gentlemen, because not all auctions are from the bank. So sometimes there might have been a drug bust. Uh, and sometimes remember what happens when a person dies intestate, the property will escheat to the state. Well, it'll stay in the state treasury for a long time. And then after that, they're able to allow to be selling this on an auction like this if nobody claimed it out of the US Treasury. So there are other things that this site will give you as well, ladies and gentlemen. Now, even though I said I won't take on investors, I'm not telling you not to. I just told you that was a personal note. But if you're looking to gain money for an investment, an idea, an invention, then I would not want you to go to what the hell is that site called? GoFundMe. I wouldn't recommend that one. I wouldn't recommend, but I would recommend Dollar Spout if you were looking, because this is small investors putting up $20, $100, and you can have many investors giving you the money that you might need for a project. So I share this with you. It's not a route that I would go, but I want to share it with you because you might have different ideas, different aspirations of what you would want to do with your real estate business or any business for that matter. So, ladies and gentlemen, we come down to the final moments of this class. Once you pass your exam, I am going to recommend that you interview with at least 3 brokers, ladies and gentlemen, for your own general knowledge. And I can even give you a couple, like Realty Mark, my brokerage. Realty Mark is one of those brokers that offer you 100% commission. But is it really 100% commission? All right. They have over 1,000 real estate agents, but where would you be in the midst of 1,000 real estate agents? My brokerage is designed, all I do is take on students as my agents. I will not hire agents from another brokerage. No way, no how. Because I always believe that I can take a blank canvas and create an artwork rather than painting over an artwork. So I don't want agents who already have bad habits from other brokers. So I design my brokerage as a college. So once you're done in the classroom, Now you got an opportunity to come to the college and work in the field with the clients, with the contract, on the job training. And I offer my agents 80/20 commission. I believe that is top scale. And I don't think you're going to get anywhere close to 80/20 with any broker that you interview as a brand new real estate agent. They're going to probably offer you 50/50. You're brand new. You're just starting out. You've never done this before. What I'll do is I'll teach you how to do the contracts. I'll teach you how to market your business. We'll fund you some leads, blah, blah, blah. All right. And the first year we're going to do a 50/50. And then next year, we'll move you up to 60/40, 70/30, 80/20, and so on. But we got to start somewhere. So I'll be willing to take you on as a brand new agent, teach you everything that you need to know. And the first year, we'll do 50/50. If I like your production, we'll move you up 60/40, 70/30. What do you say? You ready to get started in the real estate business?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Not with them.
Absolutely.
Because what other kind of fees come with their 50/50?
All right. Well, we're going to have your board fees to be a member of the National Association of Realtors. That's going to be anywhere from $700 to $1,000. You'll need to have that in place before you can come aboard. You're going to have your MOS fees. That's probably going to be $500 to get started, and then it's going to probably be about $160 every 3 months. You're going to need that. You're going to need some business cards and some marketing. So to start here, you're probably going to need about $2,000 to $3,000 just to get started with our brokerage, because we do require that you be a member of the National Association of Realtors. That's a fee that you're going to have to pay. Your MOS fees. We also charge. We'll give you a code. So any copies that you make, we'll put that on your bill. Any calls that you make, we'll put that on your bill. But again, it costs to be boss, right? You're running a business. There are these fees involved. So since you're asking about the fees, you're probably going to need about $3,000 to get started here. And then I guess your fees will probably be somewhere in the area of $100 to $200 a month, given take how active you might be. Ready to get started?
No.
Not yet.
We're so close. Almost had the pen in the hand. I thought you were a part of the family.
Let
What's
me get my. I get the money. Get my money up first now. At
now?
least you're honest up front.
This is the best policy. This is why I told you you need to interview at least 3 brokers to get this knowledge, because Tyann asked the right question. What's the charges? What does it cost to be an agent? You told me it's going to be 50/50 split. And 2 of you jumped on that right away, even though I just said you got to interview 3 brokers. Don't sign with the first broker. But didn't 2 of you get ready to say, I'll take it? I'm ready to sign? But then when I mentioned that you need some moolah to join, now all of a sudden the love is fading, isn't it? So, my brokerage, ladies and gentlemen, there's no board. You know why they have the National Association of Realtors? The brokers have that because they can't teach you. They can't educate you. They don't have that ability. So they pass you off to NAR, the National Association of Realtors, and they let them train you. But you have to pay to be a member of NAR.
Did you go to the party? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, guys.
So I don't. My brokerage does not subscribe to the National Association of Realtors. That's one less fee that my agents need. There's only 2 fees that my agents are going to need. The MOS, you need that for your business. And the state is going to charge you, I don't know, Cherry could tell me, I think it was $125 or whatever it is, to affiliate you. Once you pass the state exam, ladies and gentlemen, once you take the exam and you pass, you are a licensed real estate professional in the state of Pennsylvania the minute you got a passing score, both national and state. However, after you pass the exam, you now have to affiliate yourself with an employer or a broker in order to get your license number. You're not allowed to earn any compensation yet until you get your license number. So you're now interviewing with 3 brokers and you decide that you're going to go with broker B and that's who you're going to be affiliated with. It's going to cost you about $125 with the state to have you affiliated with broker B. You'll get your license number now, and now you can start making money. But until you get your real estate license number, you can't start making money. You're licensed the day you pass your exam, but you can't start making money yet until you affiliate yourself with a broker or an employer. Does everybody
So
understand?
every time that you change your broker, do you have to pay the $125 or just that first time?
No, you'll have to, it's not $125, but there is a fee for the state to
Okay.
transfer from one broker to another. State
Okay.
doesn't do anything for free. And so that's not $125 because you're already got a license number now. You're just transferring your license number from one broker to another. And this is quite common in the real estate arena, ladies and gentlemen. For an agent to stay with one broker for longer than 3 years is very uncommon. Either one, they're not really doing any business anyway, so there's no sense of moving from one broker to another, since they probably do anywhere from 1 to 5 deals a year anyway. So they can be with one broker for 5, 6, 10 years because they don't really do anything. That's fine. But a broker that is, or an agent that's doing some production might want to go where the money is, or you have your own aspiration. Tyann has always dreamed of being the broker of record, having her own real estate brokerage. So she's only going to be with me for a year or two to learn her in the field lessons, and then she's going to go on and do what she always dreamed of doing anyway. That's the way that this business works, ladies and gentlemen. So there's not a lot of longevity in this business unless they're just hanging around year after year after year. I don't need water fountain agents, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm not going to impress you by saying I got 1,000 agents. I'm going to impress you by saying I have less than 20 agents because I have hands-on approach. Every one of my agents has access to me. They can contact me, they can reach me, and for the most part, I'm going to be there to help them every step of the way. But could I do that with 1,000 real estate agents? Of course not. Of course not. So bigger is not always better. More is not always better in this game. So I would interview at least 3 brokerage. Interview Remax, interview Berkshire Hathaway, interview Realty Mark, interview me. I am going to give you a copy of my independent contractors agreement in this email that I'm going to be sending you with all the other goodies. I'm going to send you the links to the videos just like I did yesterday. All right, for the math classes, I'll put those links together. I'll send you my independent contractors agreement, and you can now use my ICA, my independent contractors agreement, to compare it to the other brokers that you're going to be interviewing, and then make a decision on what's going to be best for you, because it's not always about money. Let me give you an example. Danielle is camaraderie. She is going to be working with this broker because there is a camaraderie between her and that broker. Tyann is going with a broker because of the ambiance. It's a beautiful marble column, marble office. She would love her pictures in the background, bringing clients. And Sabrina is going with a broker because the money. But notice that Danielle is going with a broker because of camaraderie. Tyann is going with a broker because of ambiance. Sabrina's going with a broker because of money. Each and every one of you will have your own reason as to why you choose to be with the broker you're going to be with. It's not always about money. So make sure that you're making your decisions wisely. Do not sign more than a 1-year independent contractors agreement, ladies and gentlemen. Don't make that mistake of signing a 3-year independent contractors agreement. Not your first time out. Bad. 1 year, you have to do that. You won't be able to go with a broker without that independent contractors agreement, but only do a 1 year because things change quite often, and you might not want to be with this broker much longer. Never know how these things work out. So make sure that your independent contractor's agreement is for 1 year, not more than that, your first time at bat. All right. Never know how these things will work out. But if you were foolish enough to jump on the bandwagon at 50-50, you will see the hurt. And we did that yesterday on the board. If you were in my math class, you saw how one agent made $60,000 for 10 deals and the other agent made $35,000 for the same 10 deals because of their broker split. That could be a big hit because it sounded so good when you signed up 50-50, you're going to teach me everything. I'm in. But the time you get to that third and fourth deal, now you're regretting your decision. Okay? 1 year is the longest contract you're going to do with that first broker, but you'll all decide to go with a broker for any reason. It's not always about money. Any questions or comments about this?
How many sales do you want from your broker a year? From your agents?
How many what?
How many sales do you want from your agents a year?
My first year with an agent, I would like to see that you do 5 deals minimum. That would be my goal for your first year. Because you're still learning your management techniques, you're still putting things together. But your second year, I would love to see you closer to the 12 deals in that second and third year. But a deal a month is not easy for a lot of agents. Most agents do anywhere from 1 to 8 deals a year. 80% of your agents will do anywhere from 1 to 8 deals a year. But to do something like maybe me, where I'm doing 30 and 40 deals a year, well, how the hell does that work out? How do you do something like that? So again, this is what will happen. So asking me how many deals that I would like Danielle to do this year, I think she would be happy. That would put her over $100,000, most likely, in commission. I think she would be happy with that. And I think she would be looking forward to year 2 to see if she could do 10 to 12 deals in the second year and make 160, 170,000 the second year. Yeah.
So the deal, there's a number amount of deals, but what about how much the deals are worth? Does that matter too?
Yes, it does. If you sell a $300,000 property compared to a $100,000 property, you got a $3,000 commission compared to a $9,000 commission.
Warren, we can't hear you. There's some kind of noise in the
Okay,
background.
I got you. I'll take care of that.
Oh, how did that do that?
That's okay. That's
You got
okay.
me on mute. Put me on mute, Warren.
I got it. Not a problem. All
Okay.
right. So very good. So now y'all can hear me a little bit better. So yes, if you're selling a $300,000 property compared to a $100,000 property. So let's just say that you're doing a split commission. You're getting 3%. The other agent's getting 3%. So you're getting $3,000 on a $100,000 property, but you're looking at $9,000 for a $300,000 property. So yes, the dollar amount matters. Remember what I said yesterday, the average property in the state of Pennsylvania is right around that 250 to 280 range. So this is typical. But if you can start doing 300 and 400 and $500,000 deals, which is no big deal, then of course you would prefer a nice $12,000 check. If you had a $10,000 check and you did 5 deals your first year, there's $50,000, and you could do 5 deals part-time. Most real estate agents are going to start part-time. You got a full-time job, you keep that full-time job. You don't quit your full-time job. You hear what I'm saying? You start real estate part-time. Most real estate agents will do open houses on the weekend. They'll work on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Many of their clients are working 9 to 5, so they can only show properties after 5 anyway for their clients. So start part-time. Keep your full-time job and the benefits. And maybe in your second or third year, maybe you would want to consider going into it full-time. But if you're not doing 12 to 15 deals a year, I would hold on to that full-time job and the benefits, because those benefits are priceless, because we don't work the job for the money, we work for the benefits. So if you're not making the money, then hold on to the benefits. Questions or comment? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially have come to the end, and in the end, this is it. And so maybe I'll see you again, maybe I won't. My next class starts July 1st. I will naturally send you links. This is your alumni now, and so you will always get the links for all my future classes until you tell me to stop. Don't send me no more emails, don't send me any more text, and I'll stop. Otherwise, you will always get links to my future classes. You can stop in anytime you want, free of charge, sit in, do what you like. You'll always be welcome to all future classes. My next class starts July, and I look forward to seeing your signs out there on the lawn, ladies and gentlemen. I look forward to competing with you somewhere along the line. I look forward to seeing you grow your real estate business. I will always be here. I'm just a phone call away. If you ever need anything, just reach out. Be happy to talk with you, help you out in any way. Uh, just ask. Remember what I said? How can I help you? That is the magic words. That is how you're going to make a lot of money in this business. How can I help you?